There was a question asked by Choir Boys Outdoors, and he wanted to know, are traditional knives relevant today? Do they have any use? Or are they just old, outdated relics of the past used by people 100 years ago when they had nothing better, and today are moderns with their superior materials, superior steels, one-hand access? Are they just that much better that they completely make all these older knives, all these traditionals, irrelevant and useless? Let's take a little closer look into it. So here we have a bunch of modern and traditionals laid out before us. Now these modern knives have very easy one-hand access to open and close. And not just right-handed, but also left-handed. Here's another one. Another modern, very fun to play with. So why would you even want to use a traditional? Well, one of the problems that you have if you just carry a modern knife is you only have one type of blade. There are a lot of people that argue back and forth about what blade type is superior for EDC. Is it a Wharncliffe blade, a sheep's foot blade? Is it a clip blade? Is it a spear point? What is the best blade shape for EDC? Well, why not pick up a traditional? In this one knife, this is called a Stockman. You have a clip point blade, and that's about 3 inches. That's a nice blade. You have a sheep's foot blade. This is ideal for opening packages, cutting up cardboard, skinning wire, any kind of utility tasks. And then you have what's called a spade blade. And this has a nice belly on it. I'll use this kind of like a pen blade if I have to sharpen the pencil, do other similar tasks like that. It's also nice having a couple of short blades because if you have some small precision work to do, those short blades are very controllable and very maneuverable. Another thing that I'll use a knife like this for is I'll save my long blade for cutting up my food. It could be making lunch, making dinner. And if you take a close look at this blade, you'll see it has a patina on it. It has some different colors. This is a carbon steel blade. And when you cut different foods with carbon steel, you'll see the blade change colors. It takes on the patina. The acids and stuff in the food react with the steel, and you get beautiful, it's almost like a painting. You get a tapestry that is developed as you use the knife. You have different materials. You have natural materials. You have bone. You have synthetic materials, like this is a burlap micarta. So you still have a lot of the same material choices, but you don't have bone in modern knives. And bone is just fantastic. It's a fantastic material. And the jigging on it gives you a lot of grip. So there are reasons to carry a traditional. So I don't buy into this argument that modern knives make traditionals useless and irrelevant. I think it's best to carry both. What I've been carrying lately is this Benchmade Crooked River. Here's a modern in S90V, carbon fiber scales, just a beautiful knife. So I've been carrying that along with this 4-inch Stockman. It actually measures 3 13/16 from one bolster to the other. Now the Stockman again is the 3-bladed knife where you have a clip point. This is again in 1095, and you can see some of the colors that this has picked up. This is new. This is only cut sausage for my breakfast this morning, and that's it, and it's already getting a patina. And then you have your sheep's foot or your utility blade, and then the spade blade. So you have 3 blades to work with. You always have the right blade style for any given task. This one is a natural stag, and it is beautiful. Another thing that traditional knives let you do is play with leather. I love leather. And Since I've been into traditional knives, I've been making different leather slips to carry my knives, and this is one of them. Here's another one. The orange stitching, and this is an orange Stockman. This one is made by Boker. These are around the $40 price point. Now there are all kinds of different knives. Here's a Rough Rider, and this is in blue bone, and these knives can be had for about $15. Again, this is a Stockman. The Stockman is my favorite pattern because you have the 3 blades, and it gives you a lot of choices on what you're going to do for the day. Here's one in brown bone. Isn't that a beautiful knife? Who wouldn't want to carry something like that? Now you have other choices. This is what's called a sod buster. It's one small blade. This is also in carbon steel. This hasn't been used on food yet, but this will also develop a very nice patina, which is just fun. These knives are fun to use. They're fun to carry. You have the different blade types. They let you play around with leather. Now you may say, I want a knife with a better blade steel. I don't want an old carbon steel. I don't want an old version of stainless steel that was used many years ago. I want something new. Well, you have those options. Here's another leather slip that I made. This is a Lake Champlain Barlow. You have a titanium frame, carbon fiber covers, and an M390 blade. So if I carry this knife, I have a clip point. This is a perfect traditional to carry along with it. It gives me a good sized knife. Now this is a 4-inch blade by comparison, so this is a good sized traditional. You know, you're not that far behind. You know, it's 3.5 inches or so. So you can carry something like this. It lets you carry a companion blade. Again, back to that argument. What blade type is best for EDC? I want a clip point on me, either a clip point or a drop point or a spear point. I want something like that with a belly on it. Then I also want something like this for utility. So I carry both. I carry a modern knife and a traditional knife as a companion every single day. And I think that is the best answer to the question. It's not, does one knife make the other one irrelevant? It's, they work together synergistically. Here's another example. This is a Lion Steel. Same thing, all titanium frame. You have mahogany covers. And on this one knife, you have a beautiful clip point. Again, an M390. And then you have a sheep's foot. It's more like a Warncliffe. It comes down, but you have 2 really useful blades to get you through the day in a great steel. And this, carried along with any modern, is a great pair, and you can get anything done that you need to throughout the day. Now there are also different types of traditional knives. Here you have a trapper, and just as the name is, this is made for somebody that needs to process small game. You have a clip point blade. Then you have your skinning blade. You have a spade blade that has belly, and it's kind of blunt right here, so you don't pierce through the hide. So you have specific purpose knives. You could also take that knife fishing. You have knives that are locking in the traditionals. You have lockbacks. Lockbacks date back into the 1800s, and they're still common today. You have a lot of variety in traditional knives, and they'll complement your modern knife perfectly, giving you the right blade choice for any task that you have throughout the day. So that's my conclusion. One is not necessarily superior to the other. They're just different. These can be very nostalgic and very fun to use. They can be more fun to use than a modern knife. And they give you variety. You can take a small light knife and carry it as a companion knife to a modern, and it gives you a good variety of blade choices. Just a small knife like this, a 4-inch long body next to a Benchmade 940. This is a great pair. You have your hard use blade right here. Then you have, and what I like to do, I'll reserve the clip point on the knife for my food processing. This is the blade that I'll use for utility, opening up boxes, skinning wire, things like that. Then I have my general purpose small blade for any odd tasks that I have to do. Just a perfect combination. I have the right blade for anything that I want to do. So if you haven't carried a traditional, I suggest you give it a try. They're a lot of fun, and you will find with the variety of blades, you'll always have what you need to get the job done. We'll see you on the next one.